How's it going, everybody? Welcome back in to another movie review. I know, big elephant in the room. I have not posted a video in 46 days at the time of recording this. Last video I posted was my Blu-ray collection. I'm going to talk about that here in a second, and then also get into a review of my favorite movie of the year so far. But let's just get down to the brass tacks. It's actually good news. I am now covering the Boston Red Sox, my favorite team in all of sports, the team that I have been a ride or die for my entire life, for the company I work for, Chat Sports. I was covering baseball last year on social media and short form content, and then talked to the bosses this year, and we came to the decision to start a Red Sox channel. And so I've been pretty occupied with kind of growing that from the ground up and kind of starting that on top of my regular normal 9 to 5 at Chat Sports. I still have all the responsibilities I had beforehand, and then we added Red Sox on top of that as well. So that's been very time consuming. So I've not had time to go to the theater, watch any movies, let alone do any reviews. So very positive, but, no movie content came out over, the past 40 plus days. But if you do want to support, I'm going to leave the link to that channel down in the comments and description of this video. It's my passion project. It's my baby. I've wanted to cover the Red Sox since I was a little kid, and now I get the opportunity to do that. So I'm going full head first dive in, trying to make the most out of that opportunity. So if you would like to support, go over, click on that link, and consider hitting that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. But that's not why you guys are here today. Today, we are talking about the newest film from Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza. We're talking about Warfare. This was, I think, my number 2 most anticipated film of the year. I can also pull that up because I had that on my Instagram. That fell at number 3. My number 3 most anticipated film of the year. And it's safe to say that it lived up to the hype if it currently sits as my most favorite movie of the year. So if you don't remember how this is going to work, I'm going to give you the synopsis, tell you what the movie's about. Then we're going to go through my rating system, tell you why I graded things the way I did, and then we'll be on our happy merry way. So let's get into the review. A platoon of American Navy SEALs on a surveillance mission gone wrong in insurgent territory. A boots-on-the-ground story of modern warfare and brotherhood, told in real time and based on the memories of the people that lived it. Directed by Ray Mendoza, who is one of the people that lived this mission. Also co-directed by Alex Garland, who did Civil War last year, which was one of my top 10 favorite movies of the year. Starring the likes of Will Poulter, Joseph Quinn, Charles Melton, Kit Connor, Noah Centineo, just to name a few. There's a huge stacked cast here of actors that are incredibly talented. And let's just cut to the chase. I gave Warfare a 99 out of 100. I know, Jack, whoa, we're already in the 99 territory, but there are movies that come around that just leave you in awe, that just leave your jaw on the floor, and this is one of those movies. Like I said, I'm going to go down the row and tell you why I graded everything the way I graded it. Let's start with the performances. I gave the performances a 15 out of 15. If you've seen the behind the scenes, you know that these guys went through weapons training and military training and all of that to make it look as accurate as possible. And they are all fantastic. They all play their roles perfectly. I think Joseph Quinn in particular deserves an absolute standout award here. He is phenomenal. He brings such emotion to this. It's a very physical performance that he brings, and it felt real. And for something like that, this type of performance to feel real, that's props to the work of the actors. And again, they all have such great chemistry together. They are very believable as these soldiers in this mission that is just unrelenting. And I thought that the performances are one of the best parts of this film. They all bring such humanity to a very terrifying and at some points, dehumanizing story. and they bring the humanity here, and I really, really commend them for that, and I really liked that about this. The cast from top to bottom was picture perfect. I had absolutely no notes at all. It's entertaining as hell. 10 out of 10. This is not a good entertaining, if that makes sense. Like this, you don't feel good watching this movie. This movie is terrifying. You're in the middle of the fog of war, and but that doesn't mean that I was not on the edge of my seat, like biting my finger. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. That is entertainment in itself. I was thoroughly enthralled and thoroughly engaged throughout, and that is compliments to the direction and the writing and the performances. But I just, from start to finish, was completely engaged and thought that it was one of the most impactful times I've had in a theater in quite some time. The emotions kind of go hand in hand with the entertainment on this one. It's 10 out of 10. This film does things that I don't think a film has ever done for me, and that was leave me truly, truly terrified, and left me truly feeling like I was entrenched in that building with these soldiers on this mission. It really did feel like you were being dropped in the middle of this absolutely terrifying situation. And I saw it in IMAX. I was up close to the screen, so I was fully immersed in the experience. The sound was booming. It was something else. And it was some of the most emotional, harrowing, moments that I've had in a theater in quite a while. It was really, really effective at eliciting the emotion that it wanted you to, which is panic, which is, being scared. Like they did that really well. There's a certain scene in this movie where Ray, who we're following, is in the fog of war. He is like fogged out of he's not, aware of his surroundings, and they did a really great job at like having all the radio chatter and having that kind of overwhelm him, but also overwhelm us. Like I was overwhelmed. And if you watch the film, you know what moment I'm talking about. Then he has to unplug his radio for a second to catch his breath. If you've seen the movie, you know what scene I'm talking about. Like they did such a great job at not just overwhelming him, but overwhelming us with the visuals and the sound and everything. And that's just really great ability to elicit that emotion. It was absolutely top notch. Cinematography 5 out of 5. It's shot incredibly. You are in the trenches. It is close up, instant, complete action from start to finish. It was shot in a way that was incredibly effective. Score, I gave an NA. There's no score in this movie. I actually added that 5 points that I would have given to score to the sound design, but there's literally no score in this movie. It's just the sound of war. And so I literally could not give score a grade because there was no score. So the technical actually ended up being 20 out of 15 points because I gave 5 extra points to the sound design because it deserves it. This is probably going to be some of the best sound design of the entire year. I've seen 25 movies this year so far, so I have not seen nearly all the movies that are going to come out this year, but of what I've seen so far, and I think a lot of people will agree with me on this is some of the best sound we will probably get all year. It was incredible. Set design, costume design, visual effects, editing were all picture perfect as well. So from the technical standpoint, this is a perfect, no notes, start to finish film on a technical level. Just fantastic. Pacing 5 out of 5. It's an hour-and-a-half movie that is filmed in real time, and by the time it was over, I'm like, oh my gosh, that flew by. Like, I never checked my watch. I was so immersed in what was happening that there was no room for any calm. There was no room for any any regrouping, basically. And that's all testament to the movie. It paced incredibly well. I just thought it was fantastic. And then this might be a hot take, but I give this rewatchability a 5 out of 5. I've seen some people say I can never watch that again. That was horrifying, which is true. But I am someone that enjoys the war movie genre. So for this to be such an accurate depiction of modern warfare in a modern age, I really respect that. And this is one that I will revisit. I really, enjoyed the experience, if that makes sense. It's a harrowing, terrifying movie. But I personally, as someone who is a fan of the war movie genre, will watch it again. But I do understand people that are like, I can never watch that again. I understand that take. But for me, I give it a 5 out of 5 in terms of rewatchability. I would watch it again. I'm considering going to watch it in the theater again soon. Because it was just such an incredible theatric experience. And then finally, writing, 14 out of 15. I did knock a point off because, the stakes are high because of the situation. But you don't really know any of these characters, and you don't really meet any of these characters, and there's no story here, which is fine. That's actually probably to its advantage. If there was a drama narrative, I don't think it would have been as effective. It thrusts you from the start just directly into hell. And that's what this movie was trying to achieve. Throwing you into hell and seeing if you can come out on the other side. And that was very, very effective. The reason why I was so intrigued by this movie from the start, the reason why it was my number 3 most anticipated movie of the year, and the reason why I recommended that people check it out, and I recommend that you check it out, is the fact that this will probably be one of the most accurately depicted modern war movies that we will ever get. Because Ray Mendoza and all of his former squad mates and teammates directly consulted on this movie. It says in the trailers, this movie is based on memories. It's not a written script. It's not any of that. This is Ray Mendoza and his squad mates' memories of what actually happened on that day. And Mendoza talks in interviews about how he needed to get this right in memory and in honor of his squad mates and his brothers and his friends. And so the attention to detail here is so incredible, and the care that is put into this is so immersive and so incredible. The word of this movie is incredible. It's not only an incredible feat of cinema, but it is incredible the lengths that they went to make it as accurate as possible. The attention to detail that they had, the amount of passion and emotion that you can tell was put behind this story. And at the end of the movie, when they show pictures of the actual soldiers and the people that played them, and they show some videos of the actual soldiers coming to set, it's very effective and very emotional, because you're like, this seemed real, and the reason why it seemed real is because it was real. This actually happened. And that was just, I think, added a whole nother element to it. The stakes were real because it was actually real. These people were actually real. If someone died in this movie, that means someone actually died in real life. And I think that did add to the stakes. Of course, in any movie, you never want anyone to die. But this being a real life story, told from the memories of these soldiers that were there, that is upping the stakes tenfold. And I thought that this experience as a whole was just incredible. I think that everyone should watch this, because it is in some lengths, a cautionary tale of the horrors of war, why we should not go to war, and why we should all fight for peace every single day, because what can happen is horrifying. And the things that these men went through are horrifying. And this movie did a brilliant job at conveying that. War is hell. And these men went through it. And my God, I have the utmost respect for all service members across the board. I have a military family as well. I've had uncles, grandfathers, cousins go into the military and go into, the different military schools and fight for our country. And I have the utmost respect for any service member that has ever done anything to protect our country. And this film is just another reminder of why we should respect those service members so much, because what they go through is nothing short of a literal hell. And this movie did a pitch perfect job at communicating that. So that's it. I gave Warfare a 99 out of 100 on my rating scale. I think that it is something that needs to be seen on a big screen. It's something that needs to be seen in a packed theater because this was the most silent a theater has been once the credits rolled since Infinity War. It is. I've seen people say that. I agree. I sat down. I was in a packed IMAX theater. People were talking beforehand and stuff and doing all that. The trailers were playing, blah, 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 blah. Once the movie was over, crickets. Dead silent. People were just in awe of what they had just watched. And that's effective storytelling. That's effective filmmaking. If you can make an audience silent. And, it's one of the most memorable experiences I'll probably have in a theater this year. Rightfully so, because it is a very impactful piece of filmmaking. All right, that's it. I'm going to end it there. Go check it out if you haven't already. I highly recommend it. It's hard to watch. It's it's bloody. It's gory. It is the terrors of war, but I think, it's one that I would highly recommend to most because it is just on a cinematic wavelength. It is a cinematic feat. It really is. It is really, really good in terms of just movie. It's just a really good movie. But that's it. Go down below in the comments if you've watched it already. Let me know your thoughts. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know why. Let's have a conversation down below in the comments. If you disagree with anything I had to say, be respectful. Don't be an asshole. Be respectful in the comments and we can have a conversation. That's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have not already, please consider subscribing. A lot of great movies coming out in the next few weeks into the summer. Expect some more reviews. I know I haven't done any, reviews really at all this year. That's just, I was getting my feet under me, getting ready for baseball season and starting off this Red Sox journey. So, but now that I have my feet under me and I kind of know what I'm gonna do, I expect to have at least a few reviews come out, within the next few months. There's a lot of movies I'm going to want to talk about, Fantastic Four, Superman, F1, just name a few. There's a lot of great movies coming out, in the next few months that I'm going to want to talk about. So if you have not already, please consider subscribing to this channel. Go check out my Red Sox channel if you want to support that. That is a new journey that we are trying to grow over at Chat Sports. It's my baby. It's my passion project. I love the Red Sox, and it's been a dream of mine to cover them. So if you want to support me over there, that link is in the comments and description as well. Follow me on social media. Do all the things you do on YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great oh my God, words. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.